Hello my dear ones from New York in springtime. This is just the best season to experience the city, and Central Park is so beautiful now. Everything is in bloom, it's getting warm again, and tonight we're gonna go on Air France Boeing 777 in the still quite new business class configuration from the east coast of the US to the capital of France, Paris. So, allons enfants de la patrie, 1, 2, 3 and off we go. Air France departs in New York JFK from Terminal 1, and after a short check-in we're going to the lounge, which is really full in the afternoons and evenings because Air France has a whopping 6 flights again from New York to Paris almost every day. The lounge is modern and bright with large windows on 2 levels with views towards Manhattan. There's a decent range of food and drinks, including champagne, a variety of wines, salads and in my case bœuf bourguignon, but also good coffee and desserts. However, there's just 2 showers and I was lucky to take a quick shower, which was really necessary after a very busy day in New York. Freshly showered, we are heading straight to our Boeing 777, and while boarding, this business class with its clear design is really fun to watch on the way to our seat. And the seat is not only pretty, but also awaits us with a few practical details. The monitor screen pops out at the push of a button. Then you can already see that your feet will have to go into this hole to sleep, but there's quite a lot of space. Then there's Evian water and a smaller shelf on the side to leave and forget little things. And here's something really practical, a small chic closet where you can safely put everything that flies around. Then there's a reading light and the remote control for the TV screen. And of course the buttons to move the seat up and down to the bed position. However, there are no built-in gimmicks such as massage functions. So boarding went really fast. I was of course again the last one to board in business class. Everybody else was already here. So anyway, I'm really looking forward to this flight now from JFK, New York JFK to Paris Charles de Gaulle. It's about 6 hours and a half long flight, and I mean the whole cabin looks very nice. The cabin looks really very elegant. We knew that already from pictures, but I mean, you know, the combination of white and blue with a couple of red touches, that's the colors of Air France, is really very nice, very elegant, as we expect from the carrier or the national carrier of France. And we're taxiing to the runway. Well, even though this is the airline of the country of the champagne, we didn't get any champagne served before departure. We got water or orange juice, but that has actually to do with the fact that we are departing from the United States. Because every time when I depart from the US, there's no alcohol before the flight. And you can tell me now why that is. We'll take a look at the amenity kit in a moment, but first the menu of the airline of France, the land of Croissant, Bordeaux and Nouvelle Cuisine, so that's gonna be exciting. There's a plate of appetizers, a choice of 4 main courses, cheese and dessert on tonight's menu. In addition, there's champagne, 2 white and red wines each, as well as port wine and then some hard liquor. On top of that, there's a fairly large breakfast, and with lots of appetite, we're already in the air. Wet towels are also back in the air, and they were available after takeoff. Great joy, the world breathes a sigh of relief.
We recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened and visible to facilitate our safety. In case of.
But before dinner, one more highlight on business class flights, the amenity kit. The Air France Amenity Kit has no further branding, and it includes socks, a pretty good sleeping mask, toothpaste and toothbrush, earplugs, hand cream and face gel by Clarins, and a pen. Overall, a good amenity kit for a European airline. And 50 minutes after takeoff, dinner is finally starting. So everything went very fast. We got the tablecloth and the dinner.
And actually they do it like this here. They serve the appetizer and the dessert at the same time, and then they exchange the appetizer with the main course. So we have the hot smoked salmon, some quinoa, some salad, some cheese, some sweets, and then later we're gonna have the main course. And I decided to have some Chardonnay with the appetizers, and that's Chardonnay Puy Fuissé 2019 by Albert Bichot.
There was a choice of 4 main courses, and you can choose online before departure what you would like to eat. I chose braised Wagyu beef with polenta and beetroot. It wasn't presented very nicely, but the meat was wonderfully tender. Along with it, 3 types of mustard were served, including tarragon mustard. Air France's wine selection should definitely be interesting, and I tried both red wines, and that was a Bordeaux Esprit du Pavis d'Ourt from 2016 and a Minervois Domaine de l'Hostal Estibal Gaz from 2017. Both really very good wines. By the way, the champagne was a Fleur de Champagne Premier Cru from Duval-le-Roi. Oh yes, and the tarragon mustard left a lasting impression.
So, dinner was good, and the appetizers were small but really tasty, especially the quinoa salad. That was quite a surprise. Then the Wagyu beef, of course, was very good, including the polenta as a side dish. And polenta can sometimes be really annoying, but this one was really very tasty. And then the desserts were quite an eye-opener because they were very small but so tasty. It was just so good. You could eat a pound of it, but it was just a very small piece.
If you like my flight and travel reports, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it right now with the bell notification. It costs you just 1 click. I'm really happy, and you're making a big difference for the future of this channel. Air France's entertainment system is quite comprehensive and international, but also a bit French, as you can watch movies from the Cannes Film Festival here. In addition to movies, there's the usual selection of series and a decently large music library, but one specialty here is their meditation videos. You can just watch the sea with some relaxing music. The flight show is also worth mentioning as it's interactive with information on locations around the world, and it's really great and pretty comprehensive, and when you zoom in, there's even descriptions of places of interest.
Well, now it's time for a little nap, but before I'm gonna have this here. That's something really nice for, well, let's say for a nap.
But before our nap, we have to move the seat to its bed position, and unfortunately there was no seat covers. Next step is going to the lavatory to slip into my pajamas, and that was harder than you might think.
So here we are at the lavatories of the Boeing 777 of Air France in business class, and I have to say this is a kind of unpractical. It's kind of annoying because it's so small. I'm gonna change into my PJs. And I will do that, but it's gonna be a rather sportive act that I cannot show to anybody because it's gonna be really embarrassing. To be honest, it's smaller than even a Ryanair Boeing 737, except that here they have a really nice tonic lotion by Clarins.
On the way back to the seat, I was surprised by this setup, a really nice little self-service bar that is open to passengers during the flight, with nibbles, champagne, cognac, armagnac and so on. Equipped with a glass of cognac, I'm going to bed, and the legs really have a surprising amount of space.
Well, there's a reason why these flights are being called red-eye flights. Look. Red-eye. And everything else is not so beautiful either. But I have a feeling that this breakfast is worth waking up, because there's a nice scrambled eggs, there's a grilled tomato, there's some croissant, there's some nice and fresh fruit, including fresh raspberry. There's something like fromage blanc, and I got a cappuccino with an extra shot espresso and granola muesli. So I must say, I've seen worse, also in business class. Well, the cappuccino tastes like a very cheap, bad machine coffee, sweet drink somehow. I'm really surprised. It's impossible to drink. So, mystery solved. In case you order a cappuccino, you're gonna get some powder soaked in water. If you order espresso, you're gonna get real espresso. In my case, I got a double shot espresso with some milk, and it smells really good. And it tastes really good. If you wanna really experience business class once, then maybe this is a little too short for a flight. But I mean, it's maybe as long as to Dubai, maybe half an hour longer than going to Dubai from Europe. Other than that, the food was really good. I mean, for a business class product, I would say this is a really good product. The seat is good. You can sleep really well. There's enough space for the feet. There's enough space for your body. On one side, you have no restrictions for your body, so that's really nice. Also for the feet, they're not restricted. So that, I think that's really important if you want to sleep. And this you can have here. As I said, food was good, drinks were good. There's champagne, there's some nice digestives, and the quality all over was really nice.
But let's now talk prices. When I looked at my flight, it would have cost a whopping $4,500. Completely insane for this short hop. In general, prices for flights from the US to Europe are clearly higher than in the other direction. But how did I book the flight myself? I bought the flight with miles. Flying Blue is the miles program of Air France and KLM, and I've been a member for 15 years already. One practical thing here is that miles never expire as long as you have at least one flight every 3 years with Air France or a member of the Skyteam Alliance. Sometimes you get very cheap economy tickets within Europe for as little as 5,000 miles with not too high fees. But here's the disadvantage. Unfortunately, the number of miles for award tickets is not reliable but depends on availability. Between Europe and North America, at least 57,500 miles are due in business class, plus around $200 in fees. But it can also go up to a ridiculous 300,000 miles and even more, and I'd rather swim across the Atlantic. Flying Blue is also a point transfer partner of American Express in many countries, and you can transfer your points from your Amex card to Flying Blue. However, because of the rather unpredictable number of miles on award tickets, you should plan a bit and see what's currently available before transferring the points.
We still have 10 minutes to go. Now, what can we say about this flight? Well, first of all, it's a 6.5 hours flight. It's quite a short flight, so you have to decide whether you want to sleep a little or you want to just experience business class a little. I myself cannot sleep very well on a plane, but that has nothing to do with this airline. That's actually my own problem, because this cabin is actually very good for sleeping, because you have a lot of space for the feet and you have a nice large bed, so to speak. You don't have a blanket, you don't get a pajama. The staff was friendly. I wouldn't say they were amazingly friendly, outstandingly, but they were friendly, and some are a little more reserved, some are very outgoing, and on the average it was a nice feeling. And well, altogether it's a good business class product, I would say, for a European airline. We always have to say that if you go to Asia, when you go to Asia, it's another story. So my dear ones, we have arrived in Paris. I hope you really enjoyed this airline report about Air France business class on the Boeing 777. And if you did, then please give me a thumbs up, leave me your comments and subscribe to the channel right now. There's a lot of really exciting airline reports and destination reports waiting for you. So stay healthy, stay safe and stay tuned, and see you again very soon here at Travel Sing Fla.
So if you ever want to lose some weight associated with air travel, go from the United States to Germany via Paris. It's vast spaces and walking forever.